No. Well, happy Monday. How are you doing today? I'm just double checking that I'm live because you know what Facebook can be like. Tells me I'm live, not always. Let's have a look. Oh, look, there I am. Okay, so how are you? What's the crack this week? Let me know if you are joining me here live. Give me a wee hello. If not, leave me a wee hashtag replay. Just so I know you've caught up with the musings. I just want to say, first of all, thank you to everyone who has left messages last week and beyond about people checking in as well to see if the musings were on. I appreciate that this time of the day doesn't suit everyone, but it suits me, so that's why it's happening at this time of the day. Um, have you seen the reel with the new room? Let me know what you think. Last week was really super busy. Oh, it was crazy because I was working up until about Tuesday lunchtime, and then I had to put a pause on everything, strip the room, strip the office and the treatment room bare. Everything had to get pulled out into the hall as tidily as possible because we still needed to actually get up and down the hall and not create a hassle. But the plan had been in place to get this room redecorated from the day and hour we moved into this house, which is over a year ago now, and we were only getting around to doing it this or last week. So it it was a lot of work. I have to give a massive, massive shout out to Shannon, my daughter, who gave up most of her week to help. She helped me clear the space, so everything got pulled out into the hall. The room was then cleaned and cleared. Carpet had to be lifted. Walls were all painted. Everything was redone, and then a brand spanking new floor went in. And then we got everything reframed, everything moved around. So the space is completely different. So for any of you who normally come for sessions with Shannon or with myself, the next time you're here, you'll get a little bit of a shock because there's been a complete facelift to the room. So when you get here, I hope you like it. But in the meantime, you can get a sneak preview if you scroll down. Um, Further down my wall, you will see the little video, or if you go into media and look for videos, you'll see the video of the room in its newly revamped state. So it's a much nicer space. It's a much nicer vibe. It feels better for me, and I hope that you'll all love it. So that was last week, the room overhaul. So I have to say, I don't know about you, but when you're doing any sort of like decorating or manual labor or anything like that that you don't normally do, it can be so exhausting and so tiring. And that whole messy phase, whenever the room is half done but not done, and you're just holding on to the vision of getting it finished, when you actually get it finished and wrapped up and you put the last thing on the wall and you put everything where it's meant to be, there's a sense of accomplishment, but then there's also a big sense of complete tiredness as well. So it's always um it's always really nice just to see that it is done. So I'm glad to get that done. Not sure as well if you caught over the weekend the Soul Quest Summit. So it was a weekend organised by fabulous Alessandra Moon from the Raven Moon Academy in Australia. And she had organised, I want to say there was about 33 different speakers, over 15 hours worth of content as far as I'm aware. I can't remember the exact numbers, but she pulled off a massive event on Saturday and Sunday there in Australia, Friday and Saturday for those in the States. And there were some epic speakers. I've been catching up with all the other speakers. I shared the live from yesterday. And if you go in at about 2 hours 25, you'll catch my little segment in there. I was chatting about Reiki and about how living the Reiki way can really bring benefits to your life and turn things around for you. So if you're interested, you can catch it there, but you can catch both replays on the Spiritual Events Directory page. If you go on, you can scroll down and find Soul Quest Summit. But make sure you've registered. I shared the link previously, so make sure you'd registered because I know that the guys will be sending out some bonuses and some freebies to everybody who signed up. So, and all the replay links along with everybody's bonuses and free things. So you might as well get your hands on them if you haven't already. It was great fun. It was lovely to be included in that event and to speak with some amazing people. So there was some fascinating. I've spent most of this morning catching up and watching other people's. I've just come off Betsy Nemeth's and Lisa Abed's sessions about the fairies and about the dream realms. So it was really, really good. And I also caught Melissa's Akashic Records chat and Guna Meldary's human design chat as well. So it was really, really good. And I would wholeheartedly recommend that you go and check that out. So that's it's on my wall as well. What else have I to tell you? Oh, big news. Yes, 7 days to go. 7 days to go until Heal starts. If you check the comments, you'll find the link to sign up. Please make sure you've signed up because all the goodies will be sent through emails and through the Facebook group that's attached. And there will also be the opportunity to do a little bit of deeper work. I'm not sure if you'll see behind me here. You may not see it exactly, but there is a crystal grid has already been set up with on a selenite plate with lots of beautiful crystals, and everybody who is in the backstage pass of Heal will be getting added to that crystal grid for healing to be sent out every day next week, alongside all the freebies and all the fun events that's coming. So if you're registered for it, you'll get all that information in the emails that will be sent to you, and we start on Monday. So this day next week, I know it's a bank holiday, and that's okay. I will be taking most of the day off myself, but I will be with you live on Monday evening next week to do the first deep dive of the week. And your task will be sent out in the morning, so you have all day to do it, and there'll be plenty of time and opportunity to catch up as well. So don't stress about that. So what else have I to tell you? Room overhaul, Soul Quest Summit, and Heal starting next week. And then also as well, big thank you to everyone who's booked their one-to-one sessions with me and Shannon. We're pretty much fully booked for the rest of August, but if you want to get in, Shannon still has some spaces available, I think. But if you want to get in with me in September or October, now is the time. My diary is already starting to fill for September. So if you've been thinking about doing some one-to-one work with me and you want to do a bit of deeper healing work, or you want to do a bit of coaching or mentoring, get in touch with me, send me a DM, and we'll get that sorted for you. So, without further ado, let's take a look at these cards. Let me just clear a bit of space so you can see them. I am using the beautiful Kyle Gray cards from Angels and Ancestors this week. So, for those of you listening to the pod, you maybe not see this, but these are by Kyle Gray. And the artwork is by Lily Moses. Beautiful, beautiful cards. Really, really would recommend that you get these. They're fabulous, very supportive and uplifting cards, and I think we need that. Because the energy has been a little bit heavy, I think, over the weekend. I think there's been a lot of cosmic activity, a lot of solar flare activity, a lot of just shift and flux and change. And I know that there's been quite a few people suffering with migraines and with aches and pains in their body. You're not alone. I've been there myself. I have been going through that sort of, I don't know whether it was just the kickback to the work from last week and doing all that heavy lifting and all the moving of furniture and building things and painting and all. But I've been a bit sore and tense in my own body too. So it's really very much about just giving yourself that permission to listen to your body and rest when it's needed. But the cards are very clear in their message this week. Whilst we might want to hibernate, we might want to be starting to we've maybe had enough of this muggy, warm weather that we're getting and the sort of the heaviness of the atmosphere, and we're maybe wanting to sort of, retreat and hibernate and start to step into a slower pace. It's perhaps not quite the time for that. So where am I getting that from? Well, the first card that's come up this week is the Winter card. And it's got a beautiful picture of a wolf on it and a snowflake, and it says, Winter, take care of your needs. So, on first look at this card, you're thinking, yeah, right, okay, so it's winter, it's time to hibernate, it's time to retreat, it's time to get in. Well, it's not. Yes, it's winter, and it's approaching sort of that area in we're coming into sort of autumn and winter at this in this hemisphere, and it's spring and summer in the southern hemisphere. But it's not strictly speaking about this. This particular card is asking you to look at where your self-care needs to be looked at, and to ask yourself, what do you need to do to be at your best? So what brings out the best in you? You might feel like it's time to hibernate, you might feel like it's time to pull in, but this card depicts a wolf, not a bear, not something that hibernates, but a wolf. Wolves stay active all year round. Okay, they don't hibernate. They don't go in to hibernation and hide away. Okay, so this card is asking you to perhaps maybe be like the wolf, to step in. Perhaps you need to be a lone wolf. Maybe you need to do things on your own. Perhaps you need to be the alpha and lead your own life. Or perhaps you need to be part of a pack and you need to be actually be with other people. Which of those is the thing that you need to feed your soul? Okay. You have to put your needs first to do what is right for you. So again, I ask you, what do you need to do to be at your best? How do you refill your cup? What sustains you? What lifts you up? Okay. Um, how can you be the leader of your own life? What is it that you need to do? But this card also asks you to seize opportunities. So if you're hibernating, if you're hiding away and ignoring the world, you're going to miss those opportunities that are coming knocking. And the rest of these cards, as you'll see in a moment, are really going to tell you there's an awful lot for you to see. There's an awful lot for you to take part in. There's opportunities that are going to come knocking. And if you're sleeping and if you're hiding away and hibernating, even though you feel tempted to do so, ask yourself, are you feeling tempted to do so out of fear? Because you're scared to step into the limelight and scared to be the leader of your life? Or what else is going on here? So the wolf was challenging you. There's a protective energy here as well. Okay. It's asking you as well, what do you need to do to be at your best? Do you need to go it alone? Do you need to spend some time in your own? Do you need to forge ahead and take your, step into your own leadership? Or do you need to do that and have the support of the pack? Have the support of people around you. Have people who can care for you and who can nurture you and who can guide you and support you and look after you as you take your risks, that you have people that help you. What's going on? Okay. Might be time to step past those fears and limitations. And with that in mind, then we have this next card, the Stargazer. And the Stargazer card has come in. And the Stargazer card is saying to you, okay, it's time to set your sights much higher than you have been thinking about. Okay, there's an awful lot of cosmic support. Now, I know that come Wednesday we have Mercury going retrograde, and I know that your feed will be filled with people having all the doom and gloom of the day and the fear mongering starting about, oh, it's a terrible thing. It's not a terrible thing. Mercury goes retrograde about 4 times a year, okay? Every year. It's a normal thing, and it allows us to step into being the messenger and the creator of our own lives, okay? It lets us step forward and use the cosmic support. There will be about 6 planets and 6 planetary bodies in retrograde from midweek onwards. So you might feel like you're going over old ground. You might feel like you're being pulled backwards and you're taking one step forward and two back. But that's okay, because sometimes we have to revisit things. But this card is reminding you as well that you can set your sights much higher. Don't let that fear, old wounds of lack or not feeling good enough hold you back. Okay. What is your dream? Do you remember when you were a kid, maybe you used to wish upon a star? You used to stand looking for shooting stars. But kids and I were actually doing that last week. We had a little fire pit and we were toasting marshmallows out in the back garden. And as it got dark, we were watching, because I think that there was a meteor shower. And we were watching to see if we could see any. And we caught a couple of shooting stars going past. And it reminded me of being young and always looking to the stars and going, wishing on that star. What did you wish for? What was your big dream? If you feel brave enough, tell me in the comments. What was your big dream? What is your big dream? What do you really want? I'm asking you for you as a person. Yes, we all want world peace and everybody to be healthy and happy and all the rest, but let's be selfish for a moment. What do you want? What do you really want out of life? What is your vision? What is your vision for your life? How do you want to see it? Where do you want to see yourself in a year? Where do you want to see yourself in 3 years, 5 years, 10 years? What is the vision for your life? Because this card is saying to you that whatever you're dreaming of is about to come true, but you've just got to hold the vision. You've got to stay focused on what it is you want. So if you don't know what that is, then we need to do a bit of work on that. Get in touch with me. Let's have a clarity call. Let's get you working on what it is that you want to move forward with, because you can set your vision much higher. And I think this is a message for all of us. We tend to stay, we have our little dream and then we're scared to have it too big because we start having these fears of, well, who am I to have a dream that big? What if? And I don't even think it's about what if I fail, it's what if I succeed and I have to actually show up and then be that person who has that dream or that lifestyle. And that can be frightening. So it's time for radical honesty here. Set your sights much higher though. Okay. Draw support from the cosmic energy. Cosmos is always conspiring to assist us. Okay. Stay focused on your goal. Heal those old wounds of lack and not feeling good enough because you are made of star stuff. You can do anything you want to do. So we have then our third card, the Knight, and it says, be brave and honest. And this is a card that asks you, what are your values? What do you stand for? And again, if you're brave enough, tell me in the comments, what do you stand for? What values are important to you? And this is about doing the right thing even when no one's looking. This is about integrity. It's about giving yourself permission to be who you are and stand up for what you believe in pursuit of your dream and your higher vision. It is about there's a protective energy again here. So in other words, it's safe. It's safe to feel vulnerable. He has a little tear. I'm not sure if you'll see it in the camera, but he has a little tear on his face that just reminds you that it is safe to be vulnerable whenever you're standing in your own power. It is safe for you to express yourself in all shapes and fashions. It is safe for you to stand up for what you believe in. In fact, it's not just safe, it's vitally important that we all stand for what we believe in and that we actually walk our talk. So, what's the bigger picture? Are you ready to move past that fear and step into the protective energy of being really wholly honest and being brave enough to be yourself? Because that's what this card's asking you to do. And as you know, I normally only pull three, but this one decided it wanted to come out to play as well, so I thought I'll lift it as well. So the Traveller, move in a new direction. And I love this card because I think sometimes we get a bit bored doing the same thing all the time. Maybe that's just me. But this card speaks to your inner gypsy spirit, the spirit that wants to have adventure, to move in different directions. And that doesn't necessarily mean externally, although it can. It can also be an internal thing. It can be an internal pull of, I want to explore my inner world in new directions. I want to try new things, perhaps in meditation, in shamanic journeying, and in deeper healing work. I want to explore different aspects of myself. I want to do shadow work. I want to do, deep healing work. I want to journey to the lower world and have healing from my animal guides. I want to journey to the upper world and speak to the ascended masters. I want to step into the different realms and learn from different entities and different beings. I want to learn from myself, my higher self. And it can also be it's time to explore your external world. Maybe you're thinking about moving house, maybe you're thinking about moving countries, maybe you're thinking about moving into a new field of work completely. Whatever that is, this card is speaking to that. It's speaking to that gypsy spirit within you and that ancestral drive to constantly try new things and to learn from that deep rooted wisdom inside us. But there's also a message of lightening the load. When you're traveling, you don't want to travel heavily burdened, you want to travel lightly. So set down what doesn't serve you anymore, let go of what's not working for you, and step into the road less travelled, perhaps, to see what else there is out there for you. And remember to look and see how far you've come so far. Look back on your life and congratulate yourself for all your wins. And especially if you're feeling a little bit frightened and you're scared to step into this new direction, look at every other time you have felt that. Look at every achievement you've had. Write them all down. Be proud of yourself for everything you've done, right? It's really important because it feeds the burning passion to then keep going. It tells you that you are safe. So let's have a quick recap. We have these four beautiful cards. We have the winter card with the wolf reminding you to take care of your needs, but now is not the time to hibernate. It is the time to be the leader of your own life. So what do you need to be at your best? Go do that and either surround yourself with the people that help bring out the best in you. Or if you need to go it alone, then you go it alone, but you've always got support when you need it. Okay. Because remember, we don't have to do things on our own. Okay. Stay active. It might feel like tempting to hibernate and to pull away and to retreat from the world, but that's not what you need right now. You need to push yourself out the comfort zone that little bit more, because the Stargazer card is asking you to set your sights much higher than you have, to dare to dream big, step out of the comfort zone, move yourself into that vision that you're holding for yourself. Where do you want to be in an ideal world with the biggest vision? Imagine that there was no restraint whatsoever. What would your ideal life be like? And I'd love to know. Share it in the comments if you feel brave enough. We've got the Knight card then asking you to be brave, be honest, to stand up for what makes, what do you believe in? Stand up for those things, to protect your energy, to protect the energy of those you love, and to feel safe to be vulnerable, but to stand up for your values and be full of honesty and integrity. And then to step into the road less travelled, perhaps, to move in a new direction, to have fun. Okay, to speak to that gypsy spirit inside your soul. So that's what I have for you this week. Those are our cards. As always, I would love to know if any of them resonate with you. So make sure you leave me a little hashtag replay and a comment or two to let me know if any of the cards spoke to you and how they spoke to you. Remember as well that you've still time to join Heal. We start next week on Monday the 28th. The link is in the comments of the video. So remember, you can join that. I can't wait to get started. It's going to be such fun. And the backstage pass has been improved. There's going to be so many more things in it, including a crystal Reiki healing grid for every participant as well. Soul Quest Summit was on over the weekend. You can still access the replays if you go onto Spiritual Events Directory and have a look there, or go onto Alessandra Moon's Facebook page and you can see the replays there. And let me know, if you scroll down the wall a little bit, what you think of the revamp of the room, if you like it, what you think, and get yourselves booked in for any work that you want to do one-to-one with me. I have space in the diary for September, a little bit of space in September, not a huge amount, but there's some in October as well, so now's the time to get yourselves booked in. Also, one last thing, those of you who were on the Fairy Reiki waiting list, an email went out this morning giving you the full details of the enrolment process. I will be holding enrolment open until the end of this month. So if you want to get on board, make sure you check your spam folder if you don't see an email in your inbox. That's all I have for you this week. Whatever you're up to for the rest of the week, have a great one. I will speak to you again. Next week is a bank holiday, so I may or may not be live at 1 o'clock. It might be a bit earlier, or I might indeed maybe jump on Sunday night. We'll see. I'll be on Sunday night anyway, to be fair. Because that's when our welcome party from Heal will be on. So there may or may not be musings on Monday next week, but I will be on at some point through the week. Wouldn't like to leave you without your cards. So leave me a wee hello. Let me know what you're up to this week. I like to connect with you, so make sure that you're engaging with the content. And as I say, if you want to work with me or you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment or DM me and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Have a great week. Speak to you soon.